president doesn't know everything. I frankly have been very disappointed in Tinubu, very disappointed. I thought he understood economics. Now I realize he's just a bookkeeper.
How do you mean bookkeeper?
Because bookkeeper is an accountant. He's an accountant. He collects money, accounts for it, but to develop business, to develop the economy, takes a business mind. Somebody who has run industry before, employers, employees, understand the give and take in business. Evidently, he doesn't know it.
He is right, but Tinubu's performance is not a surprise, so he shouldn't be disappointed. All the signs were there during the campaigns. Many people shouted and warned Nigerians about voting him. From pastors to P2B himself, he was moving around the country telling Nigerians that this election poses an existential threat to them, that they must vote for capacity, character, and competence. And to an extent, they did. Yes, they listened, but INEC and the judiciary had other plans. So this is why we find ourselves today in this situation. And there are three major things going on, which can be characterized as bad, worse, and worst. Let's start with the bad. The bad was Buhari happening to Nigeria from 2015. And when you look at Tinubu's performance today, you will see that he doesn't qualify to be in a class being taught by Buhari. Yes, it is that bad. All that Buhari did when he was in power, no one thought in their wildest dreams that someone else could be worse than Buhari in the future. Yes, Buhari is a former military general. He's not expected to know how the economy works or functions. But despite all the errors in decisions he made when he was in office, he still understood the role petrol plays in Nigeria's economy. He understood how Nigeria's economy is heavily dependent on petrol, not just to run businesses and factories, but also for transportation. Nearly 95% of public transportation run on petrol. Today, workers can no longer afford the cost of transportation because of the high cost of petrol, which of course Tinubu has tripled the price, more than tripled, because the day he shouted that subsidy is gone, it moved the price of petrol from around 185 naira for 1 litre to about 580 to 600 naira for 1 litre. Today, they have increased it further to about 1,000. Actually, the price of petrol depends on where you live in Nigeria. Many in the north, in the southeast, in the deep south, many interior areas in Nigeria, they pay as high as 1,300 naira per litre. Now to the worst. As bad as Nigerians had it under Buhari's administration, Buhari never taxed Nigerians the way Tinubu is taxing Nigerians today. Just like P2B said during the campaigns, you cannot tax poor people. There are more than 100 million Nigerians living under extreme poverty. So how do you get more money from people that are already poor? It's impossible. The solution, according to P2B, is to first of all improve their HDI. He gave an example, like funding someone's account. If you don't fund your account, you cannot withdraw money. So if you improve their HDI, they will now have more disposable income because they will start working and earning more money. Now the government will move in and say, now you have more disposable income. You will now give us a little of that income. We will tax you, you pay us, and we'll be earning more money. That's how it works. You sow before you reap. But according to Tinubu, there's nothing like sowing. He wants to reap and continue reaping. People are already poor and he continues to tax them. How are they going to pay? He continues to increase poverty in Nigeria. That means the people that are rich continue to shrink. Even billionaires are crying and complaining under his administration. If it wasn't because of the way Dangote spoke out, maybe by now they would have continued importing petrol. Who knows what is going to happen in the near future? Now to the worst, they celebrate incompetence with sheer arrogance. All his failed policies are not working. It is obvious to the blind. As a result of his failed policies, many multinationals left Nigeria, but they continue to arrogantly tell Nigerians that the policies will work in the near future, that they should have patience and sacrifice. But they never sacrifice. It's like the old saying, do as I say, but don't do as I do. He's busy enjoying his life, living in flamboyance. All the politicians that are riding on Nigerian people's money, they don't spend their own money. They can't understand how purchasing power has diminished under this administration. Things that used to cost about 1,000 naira in the past during Buhari's time now cost more than 3,000 or 4,000 naira. Remember that Buhari told Nigerians that they will miss him. Nigerians already started missing him when Tinubu shouted that subsidy is gone. And to think that there are more political prisoners under the current administration that is yet to reach 2 years in office, already surpassing the entire political prisoners under Buhari's administration, it shows you why Nigeria is headed under this administration. Another reminder that many things were revealed about him during the campaigns. Many in his camp said that certificate was not needed, that he has a talent for appointing technocrats and intelligent people that can run the economy. But look at where we are today. Despite the fact that he brought all the people he worked with in Lagos at the time to work with him in Abuja, but Nigerians can see how incompetent they are. They are all there to enjoy the trappings of office, not to work for Nigerians. We have the highest inflation in Nigeria's history. There is massive unemployment, and daily more Nigerians are being pushed into the unemployment market. The naira is virtually worthless. Look around you in your cities. How many cars do you see on the road? Most Nigerian cities have turned to ghost towns because of the increase in petrol price. The high cost of petrol will further reduce the much needed productivity because businesses run on petrol in the absence of public power supply. So as you can see, it doesn't take a genius to know all this. It is common sense. It is sheer wickedness that they are implementing all these policies at the same time. They know that Nigerians are hungry. They are pushing them into more poverty. What does it take to have about 10,000 CNG powered buses in many cities in Nigeria before increasing the price of petrol? This is Nigerian people's money we are talking about here, not Tinubu or any other person's money. Today, workers spend about 700 naira on transportation for journeys that used to cost about 200 naira before the recent petrol price increase. So as you can see, the job that was given to Tinubu, he has no experience about the job. It's a job that someone like P2B should have taken. As a matter of fact, Nigerians gave him the job, but like already said, INEC and the judiciary had other plans.
To invest in the energy, entrepreneurship, and innovative spirit of the young people who can drive this process, by encouraging them to know that this is next. It's for the leaders to be committed. First, leadership must be demand-driven, to listen to the youth, what they want. If you're talking about agriculture, youth, first you have to look at what is the problem of Africa. The number one problem of Africa is insecurity and food insecurity. And food insecurity, if properly tackled, can drive the overall insecurity, because we're talking about creating jobs in the food system, being able to feed people, because hunger is one of the things that are driving it. And we can only do this by investing in the entrepreneurship of the youth. We are aggressive, and listening to the last thing, we have 60% of cultivated arable lands in Africa, and we have youth population that are ready to drive this process. If I use my country, Nigeria, for example, where we have over 60% of the land cultivated